on this edition of the Self-Publishing Show.
In the kind of the SPF group, the kind of the directors, so me, James, and John. Me and James are the writers. So John won't be doing a sprint.
I think John should write that Indian masterpiece.
I don't think John hasn't sprinted for about 30 years. So.
Publishing is changing. No more gatekeepers. No more barriers. No one standing between you and your readers. Do you want to make a living from your writing? Join indie bestseller Mark Dawson and first-time author James Blatch as they shine a light on the secrets of self-publishing success. This is the Self-Publishing Show. There's never been a better time to be a writer.
Hey, hello and welcome. It's the Self-Publishing Show. And guess what? Guess what, Mark?
What, James? What?
It's not Friday.
No, it's not Friday. No, as we record, this is actually Tuesday, but this is going to be going out at some point over the weekend, isn't it? So the weekend of whatever. Well, whatever. It's out when it's out, but people will be.
I think it's only like our second or third non-Friday bonus episode of the Self-Publishing Show in the history of the Self-Publishing Show, which is now coming into its 65th year or something like that.
Yeah, well, I pressed the emergency podcast button.
And the reason we're doing that is because it's that time of year that writers around the world all know fondly as NaNoWriMo.
As how am I going to write 70,000 words in a month?
50,000. Let's not make it too difficult.
50,000, is it? Is that it?
50,000.
Oh.
Yeah, it's about 1,600 a day, I believe.
Wow.
I have done it. Hands up who's done it, who's completed it.
Not in November, but I've done it. I mean, I would have done it. 50,000 in a month.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. No, I haven't done it then in that case, no.
I'm very fond. I speak fondly of NaNoWriMo because before I did know you actually. We were working together, but before we talked about writing together at all, I sat at my desk at the BBFC on the 1st of November 2010, and in the morning I saw someone tweet saying that they were going to do this. Do you remember Emily Fussell?
Yes.
Emily's husband James. He said, "Oh, I'm going to do this." I don't think he did actually, but I saw the tweet, opened up the link, read the bare bones, like the first 3 sentences of what NaNoWriMo was about, and started it. And that was the final flight. Turned out to be the final flight 10 years later. But I wrote a first draft, did my 50, I think I got nearly 60,000 words done, really went for it. And it was hard. It was hard. I remember the first week's okay. You sort of get going. Second week, you really hit a wall. And what happened during the first week, because I tweeted about it or put it somewhere on social media, and one of my ex-BBC colleagues was producing a program at Radio 4, which is like a network station in the UK, and she said, "Why don't you come on and talk about doing NaNoWriMo, because it sounds really interesting on Radio 4." And I thought, oh, that'd be great. I'll do that next week. Got to like Monday or Tuesday, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to keep this going to Thursday. I was going to give up because it's hard. 1,600 words every day, particularly if you're not used to writing. I thought I'm going to have to give this up. But I can't give it up before Thursday because I'm on the radio. And then it turned out I got the date wrong. She meant a week on Thursday. And I think that's the only reason I did NaNoWriMo, because I found it really hard, that middle bit. And that pushed me through because I thought I can't turn up on the radio having not actually done the words. And I did the interview. And at that point, I think once you've got to week 2 or 3, you are through that wall like a marathon run. And I carried on. Now, I think now that I write much more used to writing, it might be a bit different, be very interesting to see how it is this year. But the point of this, Mark, and this little story is that we're going to be here to hold people's hands, this NaNoWriMo, and support people. And we have tens of thousands of people in our community and 220-odd thousand people on our email list. And we want as many of you as possible to put your hands up and say that you're going to do NaNoWriMo with me.
I'm going to qualify that. So I think not everyone will do NaNoWriMo because people will be in the middle of projects like me. So we're going to do some stuff with NaNoWriMo, but that doesn't mean you have to start something afresh. So now I'm 75,000 words into the new Atticus book, and I am writing that many 1,600, 2,000 words a day.
Hashtag am writing.
I'm writing, yeah. So what we're doing really is we have lots of things we're going to plan, and we are planning. We're going to do during the month of November, which is when NaNoWriMo runs, which is 1st of November to 30th of November. So if you're doing NaNoWriMo in the traditional sense, i.e., you're starting a novel and you're going to try and do the 50,000 words by the end of November, then this is something that you'll be interested in. But also will be people who aren't doing nano in any kind of traditional sense, but they are writing. We're going to do some stuff about kind of writing together. We're going to try and encourage word count throughout the month of November. We're going to have some webinars. We're going to do some sprints together, which a sprint is, I will say I'm going to be switching on the webcam at 10 o'clock. Yeah, James has got a camera there for those who are listening to the podcast rather than seeing it. Not a camera, a clock. I can't tell the difference between a clock and a camera. And we'll do 30 minutes whereby we will all write together, and that does work. The fact that everyone is doing it at the same time will mean that you're not going to be looking at the internet. You're not going to be distracted by stuff. It would be a good way to get maybe 1,000 words in. So we're going to do this, and the reason we're doing it is because we think it's a good thing in any event, but also we are rebranding the 101 course, which is our kind of our big introductory to intermediate course on self-publishing. We're rebranding that as Launchpad. So we've been very busy for the last 5 or 6 weeks doing that, which is a huge amount of work actually in terms of changing the branding and a lot of the content in a particular course, given that this is probably a 50-hour course. And we are going to launch that in the middle of towards the start of Nano, and it will close towards the end of Nano. So we're going to do some things that will kind of work together. And also, I just thought, if people are kind of coming to the end of November and they've got something that is perhaps close to being published, or they're closer to being published than they have been before, and they want to know what's next, then the Launchpad course is exactly what we intended would be available for them to be able to go to the next level and format and get a cover and do the metadata and everything you need to do to successfully launch a novel. So yeah, that was kind of my thinking in doing this, and I think it could be quite a good. We may kind of leave one of the Launchpad launches to November, because I think it fits really well with Nano.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it. You don't have to be in the Launchpad course or be intending to buy it to take part, of course, in this, but it's just for the people for whom it's going to be a good fit. It's just an obvious thing for us to do. But NaNoWriMo is a lot easier when you do it with friends. I did it alone, didn't know anyone from the writing community, never looked at the website again, actually, after just learning what the basic rules were on day one. I do have my certificates, I used to have up on the wall. Is it Literature and Latte? Is that them, the organisation that do it?
That's Scrivener.
That's Scrivener.
Yeah,
that's Scrivener.
No, the organisation is NaNoWriMo.
Is NaNoWriMo.
Yeah. So we should say NaNoWriMo, for those who don't know, stands for National Novel Writing Month. So it's
National November Novel Writing Month, I believe it is.
That'd be NaNoWriMo. It's not NaNoWriMo. It's National Novel Writing Month.
Should be, because that sounds great.
It's either National November Writing Month, which doesn't make any sense, or National Novel Writing Month, or National November Novel Writing Month, which would be NaNoWriMo. I'm pretty sure.
NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, yeah, maybe, or November Writing Month. That doesn't make sense. I guess it's novel writing. I always thought it was November novel writing. Anyway, there you go. Doesn't really matter. The point is, it's for the 30 days of November every year. It's always November. And the idea is that you write every day. Well, you write a 50,000 word novel, or you write 50,000 words of your novel, which really breaks the back of a novel if you're writing one from scratch, in a month. So you can do 2,000 words a day for the first 5 days and have a couple of days off if you want, or you could do about this, if you divide 50,000 by 30, it's 1,666 or something like that. So you need to do that a day. That's your clock. The one thing I will tell you, if you've not done this before and you want to do this, do not fall very far behind the clock. It's very difficult to catch up. So if you miss a day, that's 1,600 words. That's quite a big chunk to catch up on the next day if you're not used to writing in particular. So try not to miss days. Even if you only get 800 done that day, it makes a big difference. And I've got one of these Pomodoro clocks. I've actually got, I've been doing little writing sprints with my little group. It's my dad calling me, turn that off. My little WhatsApp
I've fallen off the roof.
Group. Yeah, my 91-year-old dad frequently goes up onto the roof to fix things. So, but he wouldn't be calling me, I don't think.
No.
And we use this. So we wind this, we'll do 25 minutes of our writing sprints. We'll wind that up to 25 minutes.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And it's nice and visual. Yeah. You can watch it. Lucy Score recommended this one to me.
Yeah.
And you can glance at it every now and again and see how much you've got to go left. And obviously it makes a noise when it gets through to zero. And you're right, Mark, when you do a writing sprint with other people, and all we do, we don't even have a visual, actually. We just have a call and we can hear each other typing. But when you're doing a writing sprint, you are writing. It does keep you focused that 25 minutes and not distracted, going off and doing other things, which is key to productivity. So
we're going to do sprints in the kind of the SPF group, the kind of of the directors. So me, James, and John. Me and James are the writers. So John won't be doing a sprint.
I think John should write that Indian masterpiece.
I don't think John hasn't sprinted for about 30 years. So, so there's me and you, and there's young Tom. We'll rope in as well, because Tom writes every day as well. So there's the three of us. Maybe we'll find someone else. We could get some celebrity sprinters. We could get Lucy Score to come on and do a sprint. And well, you and I were at Houses of Parliament last night with some very, very well-known authors and the winner of the Storyteller Award. It was the Storyteller Awards night last night. So we could get the Peckham sisters. We could get, who else could we get? Susie Quinn, Cecilia
Becker. Yeah. I know she enjoys that productivity.
We could have some kind of guest sprinters in the next month, which would be quite fun. Just kind of all writing together. So we're going to do that. We've got some webinars planned. We've got one coming up really soon. In fact, will it have happened already? Probably not. No, it won't have happened yet. But with Susie K. Quinn about kind of getting started with NaNoWriMo and writing. We'll do one on editing. I'm going to do one on reviews. We'll get you to do something on something or other. And we're commissioning lots of content to be posted in the SPF community as well during the month. So things on dictation, for example, which is a really good way if you want to get words in quickly. That's quite good.
We could get Kevin, maybe Anderson, to talk about dictations. I know he's very keen on it. And
yes, Kevin would be great, or Scott Baker, who's another person. So there's tons of people we could ask.
So we'll be throwing lots of this stuff at you, and the only thing you need to do to take part in this, you don't have to sign up anywhere. You simply have to stay in our community group. So if you're in our Facebook community group, which I think is called SPF Secret Group, is that right?
It might be, but if you search for SPF Community, we'll probably bring it up as well.
It is, SPF Secret Group. So if you go to facebook.com/groups/SPF Secret Group, if you're not in already, join. You'll be joining 27 or 26,000 other authors there. Just stay in the group. Each post to do with NaNoWriMo will have that in heading, probably NaNoWriMo plus Launchpad, something like that. Follow along, and then stay tuned for those little tidbits that we're going to throw in there, little interviews with people to help you through, and tips to help you stay on track, and some what's the word? Keeping each other honest, basically. So you're committed publicly to doing this, and that's a big psychological step forward to doing it. And one tip I'll give right at the beginning, which Lucy told me, is when you do sprints, in particular, don't go off and start doing research in the middle.
No, definitely.
Just write a note to yourself in brackets. Visit, check this later.
I just leave. I leave square brackets. If I'm saying I know I need to do, I'll write square brackets. Just put, well, sometimes just leave a blank space, and I'll go back and do it later. But that's very just about getting the words down. It's good advice.
Yeah. Good. Well, I'm excited about this. So I'm about 13,000 words through my second novel. So this is a perfect time for me. And in fact, it's supposed to be a novella. So I might even get this cracked in the middle of November. Mm-hmm. But I have already decided, and Caroline Peckham looked at me with horror when I told her this, Caroline and Suzanne, last night, that I'm going to rewrite it from scratch. I just think, people have different approaches. But for me, this has been quite a difficult gestation, this novel, and getting the story right and going back and fixing stuff. I think now that I've got the story much stronger in my mind, character journey is much stronger in my mind, I'm just going to start writing it again. Scared me.
That was the dog.
Not even use stuff I've written before. So that will probably be perfect for me. If I can get this finished, the first draft finished in the first week, and the next 3 weeks will be the rewrite, I'll be very excited about having this novella out for Christmas.
Yeah, entirely possible. I'll be working on the Atticus book, so I'm kind of keen to get that done for Christmas as well. So, I think this could be good. I think it'll be fun. We were actually on the Peckhams. The reason why she's by balking at the idea of rewriting is her books, the sisters' books. They're about. She told me last night that the book they're working on there is 350,000 words long.
Yeah. To be fair, they have announced to their fans already that they're splitting it into.
Which didn't go down very well, apparently, she told me last night. But
no, I think it went down rail with 90% of the fans, but 10% were
Yeah.
But, that's always going to happen. And I was saying to them, in all seriousness, that Caroline and Suzanne, if you don't know who they are, the Peckham sisters, well, Suzanne's surname is Valenti's married name. They write the Zodiac Academy series and other series, and they are phenomenally successful. They have a devoted following. But I was telling them, because I can see this happening on TikTok with her, with Lucy, with Colleen Hoover, is the bigger you get, you start to attract criticism. And that's a weird thing when you become very successful, and you have to have a thick skin. They're going to enter a different stratosphere there, and it's really unfair. But some people just sort of like to bring you down and like to be the ones who say, well, I don't really like them, when everyone else likes them. And so
there's an easy response.
When they
they can kind of fan themselves with their money.
Yes, yeah. And they've got so many devoted followers that they will start to attract that sort. So I think when they announce that they're splitting the books in two, that's some people are going to say that.
Yeah.
But I love them. I'm really really excited for those two women who do a brilliant job. So we might even have them on as guest sprinters at some point. And this is good. We should definitely. I'm pleased you came up with this idea, Mark. I'll give you credit for this one. In a couple of years' time, I'll be claiming it.
Yeah.
As your memory becomes foggy, but I think NaNoWriMo is a perfect thing for us to do.
Yeah, I agree.
In SPF, and so we'll do this every year. Good. So hands up, who's going to take part?
Yeah, me.
That's like too many for me to count. There's thousands already put their hand in the air. I'm very excited. By the way, some people are on the running treadmill in the gym and just fell off because they had to put their hand up in the air.
How would you run off if you're on a treadmill with your hand in the air?
Well, it changes your balance momentarily, and then things go wrong. I've seen the videos, the vines. Okay, right. Do we have anything else to say? So it's quite simple. Go into the group, be in the group, and that's where it's all going to start. Is it Monday? It's actually even
November the 1st. So the first webinar may actually have gone out because we're recording this on the 25th. The 31st is Monday, which is my birthday.
Yes. Okay. So it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday the 1st. Yeah. So that's when we get started. So I think actually, as we record this, Susie's webinar will have happened, but we will. We'll do. I think it could be Friday, 28th. But anyway, we'll do. People will know about this, even though this is being heard in the future, because we will have emailed people in the past or in our future, but in their past. Anyway, it's
like Back to the Future. You went to see this week.
I did go see it. Yes.
By the way, I did notice Michael J. Fox's autobiography title. Did you see that? A funny thing happened on the way to the future. Such a great title for a book. Complicating factor for us is that we're going to Las Vegas in the middle of this NaNoWriMo.
Well, complicated-ish, but
yeah. But we have to just find the time every day to do.
I will be writing in Vegas. I'm not going to be in the conference every day. Because we like last time I did make sure I've got a business to run. I can't just abandon it for a week. So I will be writing, but it'll just be a different view. So I'll be writing in a nice hotel room in Vegas with a very impressive view of the strip behind me, probably, which would be fun,
Yeah, and I'll do. I think we'll do is just some of these sprints will be casual. I might be in my hotel room before I go off to the conference, and I'll just go into the group live and say, right, in 5 minutes we're going to start a sprint for 25 minutes.
Yeah,
join me if you want.
Make sure you put clothes on. That's important.
No, I insist that writing sprints are always naked. God. That's one of the rules. One of the rules. Okay, all right. Well, that's it. Thank you. To the team for putting out this last minute podcast. Very excited about NaNoWriMo. We're going to kick some ass in November, and we're going to be proud of our efforts, and lots of good stuff coming away. So stay in that community group.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Let's do it. Let's do 50,000 words each.
Let's do it. Okay. All that remains for me to say is a goodbye from him.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Get show notes, the podcast archive, and free resources to boost your writing career at selfpublishingshow.com. Join our thriving Facebook group at selfpublishingshow.com/Facebook. Support the show at patreon.com/selfpublishingshow. And join us next week for more help and inspiration so that you can make your mark as a successful indie author. Publishing is changing, so get your words into the world and join the revolution with The Self-Publishing Show.